First Order Snowtrooper, the latest generation of cold weather assault stormtroopers. Snowtroopers wear advanced insulated armour and helmets that reduce the glare of the icy terrain. Hello, welcome to Centurion's Corner, and today we're reviewing off my shelf the First Order Snowtrooper from the Starkiller base. So yeah, I kind of like these kind of guys. It's probably one of my sort of second favourite troopers from The Force Awakens, as we had the Flame Trooper as well, which I would probably put into the last category. And yeah, I like it, but I feel like they sort of chuck too many troopers at us in one film. You know, where we kind of sort of progressed for the others. We had the Sand Trooper, had the original Stormtrooper. You know, we had the TIE Fighter pilot, and in the next film we had the Snow Trooper, and then obviously the next film we had the Biker Scout. But with this film, it just felt like they chucked too many in straight away, and I just felt like they really didn't get their kind of sort of like pittance worth really. They just didn't get their sort of screen time that they deserved. So yeah, I mean, here he is, all in fine dandy white. He comes with a E11 kind of, well, I think it was like F11 blasters, I think they was called in these ones. And yeah, I mean, he's alright. They do suffer from the articulation of the sort of the Force Awakens ones that they did come with, but straight away we look at their accessories, and he comes with two accessories, and this one is a standard blaster. I kind of like these. I kind of like the sort of look of them with the stock on the end and the other part on there as well, and with all the sort of like whites and the blacks kind of sort of combination. And he's got like a silver part up here as well, and I think it just works. I just think like the guns look pretty cool. They look pretty snazzy, to be honest. And he also comes with a backpack, and that's sort of just a peg that just fits in his back, so it looks kind of flush when it's on. And yeah, it's got the same sort of look as the old Snowtrooper from the original trilogy. And so we've got these like little buttons and little bits on the back. We've got a little bit of detail down there on the side and on there. And on the top there's a few little bits there, I don't know if you'll pick up on camera. And underneath we've just got this kind of sort of like rivet kind of area. And it's just hollow, just a hollow piece. It's a little bit weird because it does fit in snugly, but it feels like it just doesn't go deep enough, and it feels a bit too loose. It's kind of like the hole is at a different angle is the way that this can go in. It just feels like it just doesn't fit right. That still doesn't fit. It's just, yeah, it just doesn't feel snug. So it does fall off a little bit when you're trying to sort of like do some pictures with them, unfortunately. And we can take that off and we can have a look at his articulation. So his head, he can turn left, he can turn right, and he can look down, and then he can slightly kind of not look up, just because he's hindered by this sort of like Cobra Commander helmet really. So at the shoulder he can come up this far, which ain't too bad as he's got this sort of armour on here. There's a rotation there, there's a rotation at the elbow, and then we get those god awful 90-degree kind of sort of bends, but as they slide around they get lower and lower, which is the same as the First Order Stormtrooper, unfortunately. But we've got a rotation at the wrist, and then we've got a hinge, and then we've got like a rotation there just underneath his sort of chest. He can't really bend down much because of this sort of larger type part of armour, and here it doesn't really go back all that much. He's really hindered by his skirt as it's a big fit bit of rubber, and it only goes to that far. We've got a rotation at the upper thigh. He can kick forward this much, and obviously he can't really kick back that far because of the skirt. And he's got a double jointed knee, but again can't really use it because of the skirt. And then he's got a sort of like rocker and a slight pivot, but again that's hindered with this large cuff around the bottom of his boot. So in all, yeah, unfortunately his kind of sort of movement is really hindered, and you can't really get that many sort of poses out of him really. Kind of sort of more directing people and kind of sort of look like they're about to run, but no good sort of real get down low sort of shooting. And with that we can just look at his sort of sculpt. There's not really much to go for because obviously these guys are white, but they got it where it matters. So we got this kind of same sort of front face really of like the Flame Trooper. We got this extra kind of sort of large helmet over the top of the other helmet, which is the way that Star Wars always seems to go. You know, like TIE fighter pilots always seem they've got an extra helmet over the top of a Stormtrooper helmet and stuff. But yeah, this always sort of reminds me of the sort of like the old G.I. Joe kind of type baddies, where they've got the used to have like the cloth kind of mask at the front, and we've got this really deep inset kind of sort of visor in there. And you can just see like the ribbon of his neck part, and that's kind of the only black really that you can see on this guy. So they got this sort of like new sort of font at the front there, and we're going down into sort of like extra little buttons and dooblies that they always have. And then on this helmet and on this armor, we've got this kind of like black kind of sort of like brow, I guess, which is coming from the old OT trilogy. And now on his shoulders. And then we've got the straps just underneath his arms that connect the armors together, which is like a bit like webbing, I guess. And down to his belt, we've got these kind of sort of pouches, but they're actually stuck onto the skirt, unfortunately. Going into a darker belt a bit around the back, and yeah, I mean there's not really much detail in this sort of skirt either. I'd have loved this to be cloth, and as you all know, I'm not a massive fan of cloth goods, but where it just hinders the legs, you know, he's a trooper and he just really can't run or do anything with it, unfortunately. So it's just a big bit of rubber. But yeah, in his legs and stuff, you know, not really sort of too fussed of this kind of thing here. It feels too glossy, which makes the figure feel a bit really plasticky. So we go down, we've got these shin pads with the buckles around, and then off to that cuff again, and with his little rubbery type boots. So in all, you know, yeah, he's a good figure to have on his shelf. Hopefully they won't re-release him just because he's got really poor articulation. But yeah, I mean, is he worth of a £20 figure compared to some of those Black Series that you can get out there? Definitely not. You know, it's just feels like they're lacking a little bit. But I suppose that's the way that they are. They were very shiny, they were very glossy. But I think when they come over to sort of like a figure form, they actually look kind of fake. They kind of look very like a plastic figure. But you know, if you could get him for about a tenner or something like that, then I'd highly recommend. You know, if you're a Force Awakens fan, like most of your kids out there will be now, you know, he's a definite pickup for your collection, yeah. But, you know, for us old OT type people, if you're not really too much into Force Awakens, then I probably would give this one a miss. You know, if you got the First Order Trooper, then I think that's about it really with this one. Unless you really like the design, then I would pick him up. So guys, thank you for joining me for this quick review from another figure off the shelf. You can comment down below, you can subscribe, you can follow me on Instagram, which is in the description. And I'll see you next time. Bye!